What's the most shocking thing you ever found hidden in your own home? While cleaning out my late grandmother's attic, I discovered a shoebox filled with over 200 handwritten letters from soldiers during World War II, all addressed to my dearest angel, and realized my sweet grandma had been secretly corresponding with lonely servicemen for decades, sending care packages and letters of encouragement to boys who had no one else. This happened last month when my family was finally going through grandma's house after she passed away at 94 from natural causes. We'd been putting off cleaning the attic because it was packed with 70 years of accumulated belongings and memories that felt overwhelming to sort through. I was up there looking for Christmas decorations when I found an old shoebox hidden behind some suitcases in the far corner under dusty blankets. The box was heavy and tied with a faded blue ribbon that looked like it hadn't been disturbed in years or possibly decades. Inside were hundreds of letters, all carefully organized by date and tied in small bundles with different colored ribbons representing different wars and conflicts. The first letter I opened was dated 1943 and started with, "Dear Angel, I don't know who you are, but your letter saved my life today." I kept reading and found letters from dozens of different soldiers stationed all over Europe and the Pacific during World War II. They all called her Angel and thanked her for the care packages, letters, and photographs she'd sent to boost their morale during difficult times. "Your cookies reminded me of home," one soldier wrote. "I shared them with my whole platoon and told them about the angel back in Ohio who cares about us." Another letter said, "I carry your letter in my pocket during every mission. Knowing someone cares about whether I make it home keeps me going." I brought the box downstairs and showed my mom, who had absolutely no idea this correspondence had ever happened throughout Grandma's life. "Mom never mentioned corresponding with soldiers," she said, equally shocked by the discovery of this decades-long secret project. We spent hours reading through the letters and found that Grandma had been writing to servicemen from WY through Vietnam, and even soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. There were also carbon copies of her letters to them, filled with encouragement, news from home, motherly advice, and genuine care for their well-being. "Remember that you're fighting for something bigger than yourself," she'd written. "You boys are heroes, and don't let anyone tell you different." She'd sent care packages with homemade cookies, socks she'd knitted herself, magazines, candy, and small comfort items to remind them of home. The letters showed that many of these soldiers had no family or had lost touch with loved ones back home during their deployments. Grandma had become their connection to civilian life and a reminder that people at home cared about their sacrifice and wanted them to come home safe. Some soldiers wrote to her for years after the war, updating her on their lives, marriages, children, and careers as they built new lives. "You'll never know how much your kindness meant to a scared 18-year-old kid far from home," one veteran wrote in 1985. We found records showing she'd spent thousands of dollars over the decades on postage and care packages, money she could have used for herself. We also discovered that she'd gotten their names from Red Cross volunteers and military chaplains who knew which soldiers weren't receiving mail from home. Sometimes the most beautiful secrets are the ones that show how much love someone carried in their heart for strangers who needed hope.